anyone using Waypoint build packs yet?
So I
Or
think that there's a misunderstanding because
oh, okay.
I found out about this project, Cloud Native Buildpacks, through Waypoint because their
Oh,
pack command, which is one of their like pluggable ways to part of their build process. So you can use pack or Docker right now.
okay.
But Cloud Native Build Packs are basically what Heroku does to your source code with just being able to git push code to Heroku and it builds it and runs
Yeah.
it. Build packs are that
So
way of doing
Waypoint's
that outside of Heroku.
yeah, so Waypoint does that with their build packs. Is Waypoint using the cloud native packs you're talking
Yes. Yeah.
about?
So
Oh,
Waypoint is using a
oh.
tool called Pack, which basically, and I'll post a link to a talk about this. That's really good. Um, but the Pack tool basically uses build packs, which is like the backing technology um,
Ah,
that allows it to just introspect the source, run the source against what it could possibly be against a number of build packs, like, oh, if it figures out that it's Java or it figures out that it's Maven, and then, create a CNI, or wait, is it OCI? Whichever one is the specification for container images that's like, the big new thing. It will create that as the output of running pack. And then you get an image. So you don't need a Docker file, but you can get a Docker image or a Docker image compatible image out of running pack, and you never need to specify a pretty boilerplate Docker file. And the reason I was asking about it is because I'm interested, if anybody is using this, I would love to hear, where does this break down? Like, where's the line where it's not complicated enough to deal with X, Y, or Z, because I'm sure that's what happens. I just, yeah, I'd love to hear about
So
it if anybody's using it.
um, I'm not using Waypoint specifically, but I actually happen to have some background. I used to work for Pivotal Software.
Yeah,
And
Pivotal's the other one behind Heroku.
yeah, I was on the operations team running the Cloud Foundry reference architecture.
yeah, yeah.
So like build packs are interesting because they're and hopefully I'm responding to your question here correctly. But like where it breaks down is that like because you're using a dynamic system to essentially generate the image as opposed to manually specifying like how you're going to build your Docker file, which is I think the two approaches that there are. You could either have a machine do it, or you could figure it out yourself and then specify in a Docker file. The benefits to having a machine do it is that you get to incorporate you get to have a place to plug in operator centralized updates. So what that means is the real advantage isn't the fact that you have a machine do it, because frankly, any developer can figure out how to get their application running in an image. They select the operating system, right? The base image. They select the middleware that they use, but then they have to update it later. And a lot of times they don't. So the advantage to using a build pack is if you use a dynamic system, when say the base image gets updated, like so you're using Linux 3 and then you want to move to Linux 4, then all your running apps through your platform can be rebuilt using Linux 4. And if they fail their health checks, then they just won't roll. And then you have something you can trigger on to follow up action. So
That
essentially
was
what you get is that the build packs offer you a way to have the platform automatically update their running images. That's really the key thing that the build pack offers you.
Yeah, like you can hot swap out a 0-day security issue without having to rebuild the project from source. It has the existing source, but if the base image from an API compatibility standpoint matches up to a new base image, then it can be swapped out.
Absolutely.
I thought that was super cool.
So yeah, that's the primary, I would say, the primary advantage to using a build packs based platform. But as you might have already noticed, it's fairly complex. This is probably something that's really ideal for like more enterprise type situations. And I would say if you're anywhere under 1,000 people in your company, it'd probably be easier just to have people doing their own Docker files and having a policy saying like, hey, you got to go update your stuff. That's personal opinion. Your mileage may vary.
No, that sounds right. That's that was a great answer. Yeah, I was just interested in it because it seemed like it was basically it seemed like cool technology. It's cool that somebody's working on this.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of like, yeah, you're a security focused company and you can just swap out, CVE issue pops up day one and you literally get it day one. That's pretty
I remember
sweet.
in my pivotal days, we had like, I think it was a Heartbleed was the one, one of the CVEs that we responded to. We had a new image shipped in like 24 hours because we had the early notice, right? But 24 hours. And then like we were running 50,000 containers in our environment for my customers. And we just updated everybody like, in a matter of like, I think 2 hours. That's just how long it takes to roll everything.
Very cool.
But yeah, that's the big benefit there, I would say. The ability to update and roll.
Sweet.
That is cool. The other thing it strikes me as is this is good. This is like low level tooling to build your pass, and which makes sense therefore why Waypoint is leveraging this as a more opinionated abstraction to this. And I'm excited somebody's doing that like HashiCorp.
Yeah. As a hack week, like a month ago, me and some colleagues at my current company, we used a product called Kpack, which is just an open source kind of variation on Pack. Kpack provides some CRDs to Kubernetes to essentially offer you a build resource that you supply a tarball of your application, and it turns it into a runnable image. So we use that to kind of build our own makeshift pass, as it were, just for a hack project.
This is the project, the one I hear on Pivotal, Kpack?
Yeah, that's the one. Cool. Yeah, Pivotal got bought by VMware, so it's probably gonna go for a brand change here in the near future. But yeah, essentially this is like a major component if you want to build such a system to where you have a platform that deploys, that builds your builds your images using Buildpacks, and then gives you back an image file that you could then go ahead and create a deployment for.
That's cool.
Yep.
Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
And Matt, thanks for clearing that up. That was really cool. That was an epiphany there. I didn't realize.